Well, that was a miss, but... And it's mainstream time! Hi, everybody! We are live! How's everybody doing? Let's pop out chat. There we go. How is everyone? Good to see you. Glad to have you to all. Ray, good to see you. Glad to have you. Yes, reminder, no spoilers. Come join us in Crystal Curl. We are in Crystal Data Center, Curl World. Jellybean, Lolly Ho. Cat, good to see you. Glad to have you. Stuart, good to see you. Glad to have you. Des, good to see you. Glad to have you. Tracy, good to see you. Glad to have you. Cat, good to see you. Glad to have you again. Rowan, good to see you. Glad to have you. Ooh, right with McDonald's. Now I'm hungry for McDonald's. God damn it, V called me out. Damn it. She got me. Yep. I had lost my green name. That was unacceptable. Rowan, thank you for Archon. Do a dance? I don't know what, like... No, I guess I need to learn the Manderville. Is that what we gotta do for next time? Next maid stream? Emmett, good to see you, glad to have you. Aaron, good to see you, glad to have you. Oh god, I was worried the maid stream was yesterday and I would miss it. No! Lara, you are good. Enjoy. Feast upon these wonders. Demins, good to see you, glad to have you. That's some white boy dancing right there. The funny thing is I'm actually a good dancer, but like I don't got a beat or anything, and also I wasn't like thinking like, oh, I should have a dance set up. Are you able to do the harvest dance? I don't know. I don't know the dances, like, I don't know the 14 dances. I should have thought to practice them. That would have done a lot. Why is it white boy dances? Was waiting for the lawnmower next. No. We're going full on shopping cart. I mean, look, if we want to get real wide, we just start doing what the, what the fuck is it called? The Macarena? Okay. Shall we get started? With our very, very serious episode. Of course, it's also the one that we gotta make sure. Look, this is all you guys. You guys pay for this. Friendly reminder, if you'd like to support the channel, you can support us by over the Patreon, but also giving memberships. It does a lot to give us memberships or send us money here. And the donations that go here go towards rewards, like this ensemble and setup. Right now, I guess we're doing... because we didn't have a better answer, we're gonna do Neri Chibi. But if people have things that they want us to do, so for instance, if you'd like us to do something like, I don't know, another drunk stream, some wild thing like this maid stream, or anything like that, all you have to do is pitch it, and we will set it up as one of the future rewards. Or like any sort of event you guys want to do. Pizza party? Who wants to have a pizza party? Okay, class, let's get together. And yes, also Elio will be, his is a little more nice than mine, a little more quality. But let us get going on our next quest for Dark Knight as our precursor. Also a reminder that there will be a trial today. If you would like to be one of the other 7 people as a part of the trial, you're gonna want to be at the tea tree when we get to that point in the story. Be careful when sitting down. Hey, look, everybody here is here for a show, so, you know. Give the people what they want. Whoever paid should be ashamed. Refuses to look in mirror. That brought up old memories. Thanks. I have no idea whatever you can mean. The maid outfit's fantastic. Thank you, Deathberry. Yes. I hope everybody's having a great day. Gonna be semi lurking while at work, sadly. Well, I'm just glad you popped on in. It's always good to have you. My anthropology professor also owns and runs a pizza place. That's a very specific set of life experiences. Ah, yes, I'm a professor at the local university, and I own a pizza parlor. Am I crazy? No, that should be it. Oh, it's because it's blue. It's already picked up. Duh. Do a super chat. Make Elio say weird shit in a solid voice and fun things like cosplay streams. It's true. We definitely have a cosplay stream planned for Shadowbringers and Endwalker. But we'll have to see how that goes. He's also published a book of pizza recipes. But how's everybody doing today? And no, I cannot clean your bedroom for you. Elio, I imagine you'd like to get back to it, and so would I. Unfortunately, Mist remains inconsolable. His failure with Loudy, such as it was, weighs on his mind. He's afraid of repeating the same mistake with others. And so, for lack of better ideas, I'm thinking it's time to pay another visit to those furry little shits in the churning mist. What? But why? I can't imagine Mist helping a Moogle. My master used to take me to places like Mogholm when the city became too much. The fresh air, the quiet, the isolation. And yes, I have not forgotten how the Moogles helped Ryle and me when we were moody and brooding. Though I would argue that we reconciled in spite of their intervention, not because of it. Whatever you say, Sid. Whatever you say. Don't worry. I haven't given up yet. How could I? You wouldn't. Yum. I'm doing good. Good, Emmett. Cold. I feel that, Tracy. I don't know if you know this, right now my, all of my skivvies and everything are quite cold, as it is currently about 10 degrees Fahrenheit in here. I suffer for you, your guys' entertainment, so you better fucking enjoy it. I took a nap before stream, so I'm doing okay. Good, Catherine, good. I found out I didn't get fired today, so I'm pretty alright. Well, that is a step in the right... Well, I guess that's a step in the same direction, but a step in the not wrong direction. Right then, water under the bridge. No need for palms to be torn from heads and shoved down throats. Yet. Our Mist is taking in the sights, I believe. Why don't you join him? Cat, thank you for the $2! Doing ooh-woo. Okay, are we doing deep voice ooh-woo or like traditional ooh-woo? You gotta pick, Cat. Definitely gonna need the blanket today. Yeah, I've got the Kotatsu situation going on. We progged on the new Unreal last night, so I might have stayed up a little too late. So tired. Nice! Nice. Traditional? Ooh-woo? If you clip it, you're dead. The wind in your hair, the sun on your face. Here you can immerse yourself in the beauty and the calm, and forget the horrors. Almost. How far we have come, you and I. The others, they hesitate, but you understand the obligation, the duty, the need for atonement. For what do you need to atone? We have lost so much. So many friends and loved ones, so many moments. We thought we could keep and preserve them, but we are left with anguish in the end. Time strips us of even this bitter remainder. If we let it, but I cannot. This pain, this sadness, it is mine to bear, mine alone. This I understand now. Their grief will be mine, and in return I will give them peace. But who and when and where, that is the question. Even we have our limits. Who did I lose? Everyone? No one. We've always been apart, have we not? Perhaps one day you will understand, and then you'll share my loathing and contempt. No, forgive me. I have been away from the others too long. Sid will be worried. We must return to them at once. And then what? Well, I mean, what's that? I thought that was just a face. Otherwise, there's oh whoa. Is that like an actual thing? I always just thought that was like the face of like the. Where's Lady when you need her? Yeah. Oh, V's got raid. She's gonna grow up and look like Ystel. Yeah, Mist is definitely gonna grow up. There you are. I trust Mist had an ample time to reflect upon his mistake. Also, it's a he, just so you know, Catherine. I have. I am ready to resume my search for those who might help with my power. Difficult though it may be, I do not intend to give up. Glad to hear it. In that case, there's no need to remain here any longer. I say we leave this accursed place and never return. Don't be silly, Sid. I say we show Mist more of the Churning Mist. We did come all this way, you know. Come on, there's a place I'd like to show you. Now wait just a goddamn moment. You can't go running off on your own. Not like that. You'll get eaten by three-headed Gubu. Ryle! Ryle! Bugger me with a bleeding... Come on, they cannot have gone far. Watch out for the belligerent Dravanians and mischievous movers. Blinkster! Good to see you, glad to have you. Sadly, you cannot just punch things if you're doing ultimates. You must also actually do mechanics. Kat, was that sufficient? Did that bring you the joy, the uwu-based joy that you were seeking? Yes, as my sage, I only need to punch things. That's how I heal, right? Well, to be fair, you don't punch things to heal as a sage, but you do shoot them with lasers. Pew pew indeed. Pew pew indeed. What? Okay, but can someone explain what the owo is? Like, I don't know what that is. I know uwu, but I don't. Is it like owo? I've never heard that one before. You heal by shooting people. You're not wrong. That's why if PewDiePie played 14, he'd be a sage, because then he'd be PewDiePie. Yes, it's literally just uwu, but with O's. Okay. Oh, whoa? If you clip it. Well, you know. Sages can shoot people with lasers, and everyone's like, oh, thank you for saving me, Sage-chan. Or, well, you didn't pay for this one, Demins, but I know you're broke, so. Oh, thank you for saving me, Sage-chan. But when I do it, I'm arrested for assault with a deadly weapon and attempted homicide. You're just unlucky, Demins. You know, I woke up today wondering how it was going to go, but seeing Elio in a maid outfit again wasn't on the list of things I was expecting. Well, were you expecting to see Elio and Elio in a maid outfit and a maid outfit? You're welcome, Rowan. Don't give me that look. If the little bastards didn't want their heads caved in, they shouldn't have tried to sneak up on me. Besides, they're still alive. You have to give me credit for holding back. Anyways, I've lost sight of the children. I'm not sure which way they went. I'll head north and circle back towards Asa. You head straightways there. I've got the maid outfit. See? Someone, I'm sorry, I think I've forgotten who, but someone bought the maid outfit for me a long time ago. And actually, you know what? Companion. Got. Booyah. Now it's a party. I still say Elio's nice legs. Why, thank you. It was you, Bling? Okay. Oh no, not the Chocobo. Well, yeah, of course the Chocobo. We all got a match. I would give Deadpool something, but I'm pretty sure he'd hate that. Test. Bling, thank you for your service. Well, you guys all teamed up, and you have done a wonderful thing. What next insane thing do you want to do? Do you guys want to do like a drunk stream? Do you want to do another drunk stream? Maybe this time a viewer drunk stream? Wow, I feel like that's a bad idea. You should have seen the look on Sid's face when the Mughals started singing and dancing. He was utterly speechless. Why were the Mughals singing and dancing again? It was stupid, really, but I guess you could say that Sid had begun obsessed with trying to live up to his master's example, and for all the wrong reasons. He lost his family when he was younger than me. Sir Ompane took care of him, and Frey, but then they died too. So it's just the two of us now. He was angry and short-sighted, but now, well, he's still both those things, but not as much as before. So that's progress, I suppose. Sid's master was very dear to him, wasn't he? Oh, thank God. You shouldn't have run off like that. Do you wish to see him again? Your master? Huh? Where is this coming from? What has Ryle been telling you? I mean, there is much I wish I could have asked him before he passed, but... Wait, no, don't you dare, you little shit! Oh, Sid, charming as ever, I see. Master. And this must be Frey's successor, a worthy one, I have no doubt. My name is Opene, and it is an honor and pleasure to meet you, Elia. You did well to come so far on your own before meeting Sid, and together you have both grown so much in mind and body and soul, as dark knights and as true heroes. There was a time when I was hailed a hero too, for deeds meritorious in the defense of Ishgard, and in the name of the Fury. A brave and true temple knight I was, slayer of countless Dravanians, a commander beloved and respected by his men. They would follow me into the seventh hell. And indeed, that is where I led them. Time and time again they would fall, and I would earn the accolades, and then they would give me more green boys with dreams of glory. Green boys with red blood spilled on white snow, again and again and again. And then one day I couldn't remember the first one's face. I had forgotten the face of the first boy who gave of his life for me. That was the day I left the Temple Knights. I know that tale by heart, but not the tale of what came after. Why a goodly man with titles and wealth, a man who could have lived out his days in quiet comfort, why that man chose instead to walk the path, and to once more accept 2 children into his care. Aye, you asked me that very question long ago, and I told you that one day you would understand, when you were older and wiser and stronger. Shall we put you to the proof, Sid, and see if today is that day? You always were fond of your tests. Now, don't be cross. You've only yourself to blame. These are your memories, remember? Ha! But of course you do. The point is, deep down you've wanted this, and while there's no substitute for the genuine article, you could do a lot worse. So do me this honor, all of you. One last dance with the dead, eh? Show me the man you've become, Sid Ergu of the Obsidian Heart. Stream is not full screen. Everything looks right to me. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. And it's not me, bitch! Hold nothing back, you 3. Show me your all! You heard the man, Elio. With me! Is that the best you can do? Maybe this will help. They're going after Ryle. Help her, Elio. You swore an oath, sis, did you not? What will happen if you fail to live up to it? I can't break free! Save Ryle, Elio! Death awaits those who walk the path. Ugh, you never wanted to hold something back. Sid! Sid, are you alright? Hold on! We're still here, old man. What else you got? Never take your eyes off your charge, Sid. Remember. God damn it, not again. Elio, help Ryle. If it wasn't for Elio, you'd be dead by now. Yeah, he's right. That's one more I owe you. Well done, you two. You've exceeded all expectations. Consider this your reward. You thrice-stand son of a... Ah! Sid, speak to me. Sid. I am still your opponent. Defend yourself. Magnificent, Elio. Frey would be proud. They should make a maid dress barding for chocobos. Yeah. That's the Abigail barding. Well done, Elio. Well done indeed. Frey would be proud to know that you carry on his legacy, and mine. And Sid? Sid, my boy. My beloved boy. You nearly had me. Oh, spare me your sympathy, you bloody shade. I lost, and that's the end of it. You kept Ryle and Elio out of harm's way, Sid. You did well. Learn to shut up and take the compliment. And that is the job of a tank. You're not a DPS. You asked me once why I chose to walk the path, why I choose to look after you and Frey, even though deep down you already know. But since I lost, I owe you the answer from my lips. I was angry. Angry with the Temple Knights, angry with myself, angry with this twisted world where good men die for nothing. I was seeking justice for my boys, and forgiveness for my sins. I saved lives and punished the wicked, and for a time, that was enough. But nothing lasts forever, does it? And a man ought to have a legacy. I failed my boys as a Temple Knight, but you two were my second chance. I would teach you everything I knew, everything I learned from my mistakes, so you wouldn't have to make them. I would send you out into the world to do great things, and maybe it would all balance out. Well, that's all I have to say about that. You know what comes next, don't you? Though I suppose I ought to give you a word of advice before I disappear in a puff of smoke. I am your predecessor's master, after all. People like us will never know peace. Every moment brings us closer to death. Those of our enemies, our loved ones, and yes, our very own. The fear of death is what keeps most men alive. That dread, that desperation to escape the inevitable, if only for a little longer. But we are not like most men. We have seen what awaits beyond the abyss. We have tasted that despair, bathed in that oblivion. We have wept rivers for our dead and cursed the gods for their cruelty. That is our sword and our strength, and that is why you may one day stand above us all. May the gods have mercy on your soul. Take care, Sid. Be nicer to the girl, and try to be less of a chocobo's arse. Oh, for the love of... Catch up on you. Mainstream was making the sense the Alexander's raids. Yeah. Oh my god, is that how long you guys have been setting that up, Bling? 21 have never been drunk before, so well, there you go. They did Elio Joe's Chocobo's wearing it. Shion, good to you. Glad to have you. I'm class right now, watching the stream. Nice. Drunk stream with the community. I think that'd be a blast. Play some party games and have chaos. Took a minute to get to my phone. Yeah, no, I mean, look, if people are interested in that, we could do that as the next funding thing. Hi, I did not realize today was the stream. Sarah, good to see you. Glad to have you. And yes, let us dance the dance of death with the dead once more. In the future, I will do a better job of promoting that the next stream will be like a cosplay stream or what have you, because I've not always been great at promoting that. No, see my message about this. Sure, the stream is good. If there was ever a perfect day to do maid stream during the Dark Knight questline, hey, Stream looks fine. If you damage the enemy fast enough, you can ignore the mechanic. Yeah. I mean, heck, that's a truth universally acknowledged. As the aether flows into your soul crystal once more, from the depths of the fading abyss, you hear a whisper. Good, good. Glad to see it all worked out in the end. As for you, Mist, I distinctly recall telling you not to do that. Forgive me. Had I known it would have come to violence, Don't you dare start pouting. I'm annoyed, and sore all over, but it's nothing that won't heal with time. All I ask is that you promise not to do it again without warning and consent. Memories can be powerful and painful, in more ways than one. That said, he was right. I've only myself to blame. If I thought I could defeat him, I would have, but I didn't think I had a chance, and so I didn't. His injuries are worse than I thought. We should hurry back to Mogholm. For a moment, I was certain he would fly into a fury. Could it be that he is grateful for the experience after all? Then it was not in vain. Tired and broken though he may be, he's nevertheless better for the pain. And in time, we too may be. There is still hope. Redemption is not beyond us. Anyone have any lore? We haven't had any lore-based questions. Anyone have any lore topics or lore discussions that they want to mention? Oh, we ran out of battle. Don't forget that if you're on Crystal Curl, or if you'd like to transfer to Crystal Curl, you are more than welcome to join our FC. As well as join us for all sorts of fun, goodly times. Ugh, I'm afraid Ryle is right. I'm going to need some time to recover. I'm not fit to travel in my condition. Which means, oh gods help me, I'm going to have to stay with these furry little shits even longer. 2 more times, was it? 2 more times and we'll be finished with this boy's crusade. Not soon enough. Elio, be a dear and punch a Moogle for me, would you? Okie dokie. On to the story. You know, I'll say, at least with the maid outfit, your mobility is pretty good. Those wrist cuffs would suck because they'll probably slip over time. But beyond that, I could fight in that. Ah, Elio, impeccable timing. We've just received a letter from Lord Hydaelyn. He writes that the Domans are coordinating the efforts with the Blue Core team to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassadors. For the Guardians' part, the Populares have sent word that the vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in Yanxia. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hydaelyn requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. According to the letter, Yotsuyu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that though, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however, slight it would be better if Asahi were the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight ways for the Enclave then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you will cope in our absence, Tataru. Oh, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. We get maid stream, but never a butler stream. I mean, we can do a butler stream. There just usually isn't as much interest. Why did you give Tataru a slight Irish-Scottish like voice? It's not Irish-Scottish, it's Midwestern. Like, oh, don't you know? Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Yeah, I wish NPCs would react to your outfit. Well, I mean, like, also the, like, how would you, unless you, like, programmed, like, very specific outfits, you know? Can we see Hien in a maid outfit? Not legally. Ah, I see my letter reached you across this ruby sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there was one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather worse for wear. And despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good gods, is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you, lest you worry unduly, which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it's high time we receive some visitors. Might you spare him a moment? Yotsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We will visit him at once. Elio, Alice, shall we? Said very silly idea. Dress Deadpool as Juicy Boy and you be his butler friend. I don't even know how I'd do that. Just give him a little, get him a little scythe.
Open wide now.
Pleased to you. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself.
Okay.
I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. The sweet persimmon from Namai. I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon.
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
What? I mean, it's a maid stream, I know, but...
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you this is not.
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink.
Of course, that's what I come back to.
What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think him a doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I am relieved to see Gosetsu and has lost none of his spirit. Okay, this is also a line that gets misread a lot. Had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I'm relieved to see Gosetsu had lost none of his spirit. He's not saying a year ago Stormblood started. He's like, you don't, it's just a general, like, if someone had told me all that time ago. This could imply heavily that, like, it's been at least a year since Stormblood, but it does not directly outright state that. So just be like, that's not, and also the Japanese wording is actually way more vague than this is. It's not like literally 1 year, it's like some time ago, I believe. Real quick. Start that off in the scene. Elio, how long of an average are your goodbyes as a Minnesotan? How brave of you to assume that we ever say goodbye and don't just actually endlessly remain at each other's houses. I'm in fact still at my friend's house at a party that began when we were 8 years old. That kind of long. Just reveal and all that, yeah. Of course it's when I come back, yeah. Got a better idea, what about a Chip and Dale stream? I would pay to see Elio studying around in a thong. I gotta get in shape before we do that, but hey, if people want it. My partner literally looked to me earlier today in this maid outfit, and she was like, you know, you should just go ahead and make the OnlyFans now. But what a turn of events, I mean for her. To suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up. Although I suppose Gosetsu is an old man with the way he charges through life. It can be easy to forget. He resisted decrepitude with such defiance, he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant his will, no man can carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he will never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for his liege and land, and we will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsuyu's feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Yugiri, out of all of us, I would think you the hardest convinced. So what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Yotsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it was. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She's remained in character from the first. One evening, I watched her as she sat in their chambers, unguarded and unknown. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. Child's game. Even the wariest shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can be concluded that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else, I would hazard. Aye, the matter is settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time, to prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she is as good as fastens the chains around their necks. Aye, which is why I need to conclude this business with Tsuyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. My thanks. The Garleans are on their way. We must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Tsuyu. Ellie OnlyFans. I mean, that's been a joke for... Only Archons has been a joke for forever. Her Only Archons, you say? Want to see Sansalite-clad archivists? Well, we don't have those yet, but send it for our Patreon anyways. Good, thanks, Bean. Beautiful. Well done. You know what's so funny with Final Fantasy in general is that, like, if you look at every version of Chocobos, they actually are all, every game's version of the Chocobo is very distinct from one another. And yet you can all look at them and they're always still, like, you can tell it's a Chocobo. Which is also funny, I guess, I suppose, like, you know, you can still tell Alpha's a Chocobo, but it's just really remarkable how you can, the things you can change about something without removing its core features, like the core things that make it what it is, and still tell what, you know. Shall we wait here then? Lord Hydaelyn should not be long. I like the more realistic Chocobos. My favorites probably, like I like 10. 10's Chocobos are one of my favorites. I mean, unsurprisingly. My friends, have you seen Tsuyu? She's nowhere to be found. What? But the Guardians will be landing here in a matter of moments. If she's fled, could it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouting the streets as we speak, but it's possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. What's all your guys' favorite version of Chocobo? Captain, a word. Did you perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord. Now, I do not rightly know. I think. Wait. Yes, yes, my lord. Now that you mention it, there was a lady among the passengers whom I do recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as the new fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No. I was merely hoping to catch our guest before she departed. Be at ease, Captain. Twould seem that Tsuyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. We want Fende. Well, let's use physics now. So it is an interesting notion of Chocobos considering they turn into what they look like. Looks like a choker. Well, that was just Chocobo Kalina. I mean, that's like a very specific thing. And that's also thanks to Lightning. Is that actually, wait, no, I think that might be DLC for 13.2. It seems Tsuyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami, help us. If someone catches a clear view of her face, I must find her before that happens. The responsibility for her disappearance, for all of this, lies with me, but I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Hydaelyn. Now, as before, let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let Yugiri know what has happened, what I've learned. I'll join you on the other side. 13, 14, or 15s. We have no way of knowing where Tsuyu is headed, so we had best divide our forces. I'll take Sukakari and its surrounds. Alfino, if you would take the road to Castrum Fulminus. Elio, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor? One of the Namazu may well have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope that the Kami smile upon our efforts. Alpha's best boy. You know what? Here, now let me go ahead. Let's look at like what some of the examples are. You know, original Chocobo, Final Fantasy 1. They only show up in the Pixel Remaster. They actually don't first show up until Final Fantasy 2. I mean, it's pixels, so original concept for a Chocobo. Maybe a little less. Maybe it's kind of good. That's not what we got. FF5, that's cute. Final Fantasy 6, you know, classic. 7. 8. 9. 10. What is 11 the same as? Oh no, 11 actually is a little different than 14's. I do like their feathers. And you got 12. 13s are really interesting because they have like that main thing going on. I find that interesting. Almost like a, I mean, it's more like sideburns, but it like almost looks like a mustache. You don't look closely. Then we've got your 14 Chocobo. Very iconic, very classic. Then the 15 Chocobo. I'm not a fan of the smaller beak, the more like birdie beak. And then obviously we've got the new Chocobo, which seems a little bit more, like a little closer, like something between the 15 and 14. I always love that though, that the like this like super iconic part of Final Fantasy didn't actually show up until the second game. Alpha can use magic like a Chocobo can, albeit with cards. Yeah, Feathered Chocobo is cursed. Yeah, Choco Chicks perched on top of Rain and Lan's head. But Elio, Shoop-Puff rides the Shoop-Puff. I love the Shoop-Puff. The Shoop-Puffs are super cool. And also, I like say the line rides the Shoop-Puff. It's stuck in my head permanently, and all of like 2 people know what the fuck I'm talking about. 12 Chocobos were majestic. Yeah, Odin in 13 was an interesting Chocobo. What? What? What are you? FF13 Odin. Oh, right, because they did the that thing. Yeah, fuck Lightning Returns. That's why you're. Now I know what you're talking about. Fuck Lightning. I'll just say this offhand. I'll just say this with no problem whatsoever. Fuck Lightning Returns. That game's terrible. Welcome to Yukazaka Manor. Yes. If there's anything you care to know, we need only a pale-skinned woman. I have seen no such traveler. I'm sorry to say. Most sorry. Skivvy skins. Namazu, on the other hand, we have in abundance. Unusually pale skin, yes. I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. She has just crossed the shallows east of here, and is headed to northeasterly district. For most part, her step does not seem certain. If you hurry, you might as well catch her. Little fucking squeaky toys. Oh, that line will never leave. It's etched in now. Yeah, it's been stuck in there for 20 years, and it'll be stuck in for 20 more. Lightning Returns, he was a white chocobo. Yeah. I'm not right about this because it is, but effectively to me, Lightning Returns is like non-canon. Because it just, like, it doesn't feel like it's in any way written by the same people with any of the same, like, ideas or concepts, or, like, it just does not work. It like, is a completely different game. It feels like they made a different game, and then they slapped, like, 13 over it. Like 13 iconography. You see no sign of Yotsuyu to the north. Perhaps she is somewhere farther off to the northeast. Yeah, the recent chapters of the Academia Eorzean manga had Namazu in them. Yes. Ooh, nice. All I remember about those Shoop-Puff rides were impossible. Yes. The original Mr. Meeseeks. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Tam. I wish I had my car so I could potentially be home in time to join for the trials. Well, we've still got quite a bit of time, and welcome to the Maid Stream. Daniel, good to see, glad to have you. Welcome to the Maid Stream. I guess for those of you who have joined late, I should probably do a little. Tam. I don't currently have any of my giant weapons, so I can't do my maid with a battle axe, but... Yes, it is a real maid dress, because you guys paid for it. You guys paid for a maid stream, and you guys get what you pay for. Keyblade maid? Yeah, I can Keyblade maid. Yeah, we can do that. Keyblade! Keymaid! Something, something, don't stick your blade in my whole maid stream, yada yada. Still no sign of Yotsuyu. Perhaps she is yet further to the northeast. I'm gonna need a facepalm emote. You guys are gonna have to talk to the lady. The twirl. I'm glad you liked it, Bean. I will admit the designs of the Falcine and Eidolons in 13 they looked cool. Yeah, dude. No, don't get me wrong. 13 design. Like, dude, especially things like Orphan and stuff. Oh, chef's kiss. Oh, good shit. We need a gif of that now. Gif of what? The twirl? Do we need? I can film myself doing a little maid twirl, and I can make the gif for that for you guys. Tomorrow's the shutdown of Google Stadia. Yeah, there's many things that can be said about that. As a kid with a speech impediment, that was the best. I'll admit the design of the Falcine, the twirl, gotta give the appears any time someone gives subs super chats. Yeah, I could do that. I could set it up so that anyone gives subs, we could get the maid twirl. See, that's the downside that we don't stream on Twitch, is that we stream on YouTube, so you can't have pop-ups like that. But I bet I could set it up for OBS to do that. Yeah, I can set it. Oh yeah, I could do stream elements. So yeah, I could make that happen. I don't know what you're not saying, Rowan, but do you really want to know? Oh, where do maids in anime hide the big weapons in their outfits? I mean, there's two possibilities, right? Bag of holding or anal cavity. Discord general. What am I checking? Oh, dude, my resolution's terrible. I gotta get, I have a better camera, but it's honestly not the camera. I think it's just I have bad internet. I gotta get better internet so I can get you guys like some real high quality streams. Like a similar question, where do butler fits all their cutlery and heavy machine guns in their outfit? Similarly, bag of holding or anal cavity. The word Stadia sounds vaguely familiar, but I have no idea what it was. I'm sure someone will explain in a second, Tam. Someone super chat, Elliot, to say welcome home, master. Oh god, please don't. You ain't gonna like $1 me on that. You're gonna have to do. Ugh. Solar panel salesman pulled me away from the stream, and now I'm probably more angry than I should be. Caught him in a lie, and now I'm mad they think I'm a gullible idiot. Well, but at least he proves them that you're not. Now you can be outraged justifiably. Jesus. Welcome home? Oh no, I'm not saying that. I might be a horse that you can pay for, but I'm not free. The biggest reason I didn't finish 13 was because it felt like an endless dungeon. Yeah, 13 is very interesting in terms of design. That its linearity is hilarious because people complain about it being linear, but it's funny because 10 is linear, but one of them feels like it, one of them doesn't. There's a bunch of reasons why, and a bunch of reasons because of how it's broken up and all sorts of stuff. I appreciate 3. I think 13's got some struggles, some design failures, but I think 13.2 also makes up for a lot of them. I think it might be because you were further away, your quality is good when you are. Oh, okay. Which is better in your opinion? European maids or Japanese maids? Are we talking historically? Are we talking about like the like internet conceptualization of them? Because like it depends on what you mean. Say it, coward. I'm not a coward. I just need to be bought. Face faults harder. Eliose got it. I'm not saying that. Excuse me times 2, which I respect. Yeah, the original was due to be further away from the camera in my scroll screen size. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, god damn it, Sam. Welcome home, master. I should have done that in Gabi. Oh, Ray, you're just fucking loving this. I'm gonna regret today, aren't I? You know, I literally woke up bare-ass naked and I thought to myself, which is worse? Going on naked or going on in the maid outfit? And not because I feel shame in wearing this, not at all. Not uncomfortable either, but knowing that you guys would take it and run with it in directions that are, well, this. Cursory glance is all that is required to confirm your suspicions. It's the same hat Yotsuyu was wearing when you found her in Sakazuki. Elio, before you ask, our search of Kusakari surroundings has yielded exactly naught. Save the chance reunion with, I suppose. Mistress Alice has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Hian here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Yuzaka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Towards Namai. By the Kami, if the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the paddies. The village square is yours. One of the best maids on TV was Florence Johnson from The Jeffersons. She got away with those saucy insults on her boss. Best butlers are Niles, Jeffrey, and the 90 for Freshwoods. I don't think I know enough, like, I wouldn't know enough, like, maids and butlers offhand for convention. I don't watch a lot of shows that have them.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
Oh, well, at least he's voice actors.
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsuyu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies! My lord, she would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What do you believe justice is about?
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Y'all are welcome, blah, 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 one of the better, yeah, I'm just on Mac. Well, you know your audience. Yeah, I do know my audience. I know how to play to you guys. It's true. You guys know how to play to yourselves. Damn. Bumped it up because of that. That's funny. Zenwise in the media, the depiction of maids that are Japanese style or European style. Well, by Japanese style, do you mean like Japanese maid? That's what I'm questioning, because like when people say Japanese maid, a lot of times what they actually mean is a European maid, a European style maid who's Japanese nationality, because like Japanese maids historically would be something very different. I like the maids in Fire Emblem Fates. They have ice magic. I cannot. I don't like the maid trope. I'm gonna say it. I don't like the maid trope. I don't like it in general. I don't like it because it's used if it's used for aestheticism, it's one thing. But if it's used just for like fan service, sexual objectification, or like, you know, the power fantasy of like, oh, the woman who's attractive and in service to you, I'm just not. I don't like it. Happy to be it though. Very slightly, but not enough to bother me. This is how you treat a weary traveler. Jefferson, yeah, I know the Jeffersons, I know the nanny, I know the freshmen, I all know those. I just can't say I have a specifically strong connection to them. Where are maids? British maids in movies are more sarcastic, far more sarcastic. Yes. I just remember one of them doing stuff with fire that I can't elaborate on because of reasons. Of course, the ad on my phone I'm swapping over was waifu gun game. Yeah, that's the other thing. I fucking hate waifu gun game sort of stuff. It just like takes me out of it. I was like, I don't want to reduce like any like female characters especially, but just onto like sexual objects. It's just like it's not even that like, okay, there can't be room for like fantasy for stuff like that, but I just don't enjoy it. It's always the mind of a child that sees the truth. Yeah. Good luck storming the moon bunny. Has anyone besides me ever eaten a persimmon? They're actually pretty good. Yes, they are very good. It's unfortunate, but it's so sad that the mob often demands others to do the dirty deeds and then do it themselves. They demand vengeance, not justice. Justice is not based on personal vendettas. Yeah. I've used issue with the mostly Christian version of repentance and forgiveness that a lot of Western media portrays, especially they say sorry, so you have to forgive them a bit. But by the same token, I think there's a very, like, I don't know, it's, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I have a problem with that. I also have a problem, though, with, like, retributive justice, as opposed to, like, restorative, you know? True justice is blind. Well, true justice attempts to be blind, right? Because you try to be impartial, but it's still a thing crafted by us. I feel for the situation, but it's not their place to demand others to do their dirty work. Yeah, but by the same token, it's also they are not allowed to strike her down. Like, only their lord can choose to do that. And therefore, they're in a very different power structure than we are, right? And, like, seeking... You are supposed to seek justice from your lord, who is supposed to be the arbiter on your behalf. So them saying that is not just a, I don't want to do the dirty work, it's also a recognition of the strata, the structure of the society they live in. Not that I think it's good, nothing that they should, but also remember, like, from their perspective, this would be like if Hitler walked into your, like, town, right? Like, just straight up him, and, like, you don't know the context of his memories and stuff. And, after years and years of oppression, you know, and it, like, you had actually been directly affected by it. True justice is blind. I feel for the situation, but it's not a place in man. Not that is what's portrayed here, but I think a lot of people have a misconception about that. Yeah, totally, Tim. Not here, especially not us. Well, he and his executive judge and legislative branch of the government at the moment. Yeah, exactly, Demens. Happy to be it. I'm so confused. Why perpetuate something you disapprove of? Because it's not perpetuating something I disapprove of, because what I disapprove of is that the creation of characters with no agency to be able to... So the creation of a character that has no agency in of themselves and uses a sexual object is very different than me as an individual with agency and the ability to consent and to play off of that to do that. Because that's the difference. It's not just the thing in a vacuum. There's nothing wrong with sexy maids in a vacuum, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, sex appeal or, like, sexual outfits or any of that stuff. But when you just create characters for their own sake that are just nothing but objectification, that, I mean, they can't consent, they're characters, right? You craft them. That's my problem. And then they're created as vacuous things, right? Whereas I don't care if, like, I'm, like, if, you know, for me, I'm still my own individual with all my layers, my depths, and my ability to consent. I've always loved plots like this. Do you become a different person if you lose your memory? If so, yeah, the tabula rasa. Can this new person be held responsible for the past deeds of someone they no longer are? I mean, that's the question, right? Is the death of Yotsuyu by no longer having her memories, is justice for those who are wronged, and therefore just the literal body of her should be tried, even if it solves nothing, changes nothing, it does not, you know, prevent anything in the future, right? You know? Have you seen Akihabara Maid Wars? I have not. Yeah, restorative justice is the way to go, and repentance is a process, not an end goal. Yeah, I agree. That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. And judging by Tsuyu's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This was no escape attempt. Nay, it seems it was an offhanded request of Gosetsu which brought her here, to Nomai. She came in search of persimmon. Ha! And they say fruit is good for the health. I do hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we have certainly taken a long way around, but let us continue on to Castrum Fulminus and our meeting with the ambassador. Alfino and Alice should still be there, conducting their search. Away, Abigail! Away! Well, milkshake, but Abigail Barding. I'm not a huge fan of persimmons, but they are good tasting fruit, sweet with firm flesh. Sweet with firm flesh, that's what she said. But don't eat the bitter ones. I don't know if I would know how to tell a bitter one from a non-bitter persimmon. It seems our Imperial guests have already arrived. It is time to meet with the ambassador. Will Maxima get a line in this patch? Well, yeah, he definitely has a couple lines in this patch. What do you want from me, Aaron?
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the selfsame spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
You're a dick. You're a dick. I'm gonna enjoy what happens later.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look, well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient.
Oh, that fucking look from Hien.
You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
It's like a movie about maid cafes in Akihabara made by Quentin Tarantino. That sounds amazing. Saya may be good at speaking words, but you can tell he's dripping with false modesty and concern. It's so painfully clear he's an astray little worm, right? But he also knows how to play the game. You know? You little shit, yeah. 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 Why is... I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future to rest. I've sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri, and to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. You have that look, Alfino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence. Most like... We can discuss it upon our return. When I get to this part of my alt, I'll be able to think of Elio as his maid outfit. I would hope that you think of the seriousness of the situation. Tarantino also made Sukiyaki Western Django. What? This is a very serious intergovernmental peace negotiation hostage exchange, yeah. If this game allowed, I wouldn't mind cutting down the parents myself. Understandable. He had murder in his eyes, absolutely did. The game is sympathetic and tragically great villains, and then there's this asshole. To be fair, sometimes some people are just evil. Sometimes some people are just assholes, and every so often in 14, there are just characters who are just like, oh no, you're just shit. You're just shitty and shit. You know, like you have your Valens, your Asahis, your multiple members of the Church in Heaven's Word. You have, I mean, like, you know, hell, even I would argue Thoradin in some ways is like that. Yeah. I don't know. Shadowbringers, its main cast doesn't really. I'm trying to think real quick. Not really. He has crazy eyes and I want to carve them out. Yeah. Wait, where are the captives held? Which captives? Our captives or their captives? I have a question. Do all ambassadors in Final Fantasy wear white? I don't know how many ambassadors we witnessed, but I don't think so. I mean, even like when Alfino's going later, Alfino's still wearing his blue. I mean, like he wears partially white. I don't think so. I don't think exclusively so. No, because Tracy, he has a very there's tragedy there as well. I know who you're talking about, but no, like actually, if you remember, there's actually quite a lot of tragedy and there as well. Not sympathetic, but definitely tragedy and pitiable for sure. Ours, the Guardian captives in our custody. They're probably just being held somewhere within the Doman Enclave. They might have mentioned, but like they could have been being held in the barracks. They could be being held in, I mean, probably not in Namai or anywhere around there, but I would assume just somewhere within the in and around the Enclave. I have a question. Oh, because of him as an emissary. Yeah. So that's also very different because he's not really an ambassador. He's more, well, I mean, he's a kind of ambassador, but he's the emissary. I mean, he does play as sort of ambassador between light and dark, to be fair. We should play a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him about Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know the Empire has finally relinquished its claim on her. You know, it's interesting how short 3.2 was, relatively speaking, and how actually 3.3 is also zooming along.
Are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention. I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
My lord! Forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone!
It's Tataru's voice actress.
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Fancy AC, good to see you, glad to have you. And yes, clearly it's Tataru on stilts. The art of making Japanese. Yes, AC, I've been part of Japanese tea ceremony. There's actually more than just commercial grade and ceremonial grade. Welcome back, Deathberry. And yes.
Help. Help! Help me!
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you.
What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu! A font of misery! You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh no! You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure! We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine! I don't deserve this!
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
Cruelty makes monsters of us all.
My beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Please. I don't want to die.
Any sign of her? What happened here? I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing.
It's not your fault.
You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
The next step is his responsibility, but it was not his fault. And to have executed her would not have necessarily been the right course anyways. Okay. It's bad. It sounds like a carrot. Yeah, she definitely did sound like a carrot. Just want to say someone yelled at me during day retail. Yeah, they don't. They deserve worse. They're gone. They're dead. No, anything worse would have just been retribution rather than... The perfect examples of Karen and Kevin. Yeah, it's true, Fantasy. Karen and Chet. Yeah, just visceral hate. Why are you killing Tsuyu? Because cruelty makes monsters of us all. I won't say I'm for summary execution, but I will say this one was particularly satisfying. I think that's a fair way to put it. I would say Nelson from Simpsons. Yeah. Well, shoot, slit his throat. Well, we'll get there. Rachel, good to see you. Glad to have you. What happened here? Asai. Yeah, Asai in hot dog costume. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. Yeah. Hey, so also, the song that's coming up in the trial in just a bit here is called Wayward Daughter, and we did a lyrical lore on it. Ray or Bean, if I could get one of you guys to grab it and toss the link in here in case anybody just wants to watch the lyrical lore. It's one of our really early ones. We have reconvened at Neryl's remains, and we behold in cremation anon. Whether they never again set foot at Doma. I broke the news to Gosetsu myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he might be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. So, my friends, which we fear has come to pass. Yotsuyu has regained her memories and returned to the Imperial fold. It is by any measure a cruel twist, not least for Gosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yotsuyu into the Guardian's hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of the exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. But what I cannot accept are the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration for Xenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted, and that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, I would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of Castrum Fulness is to be the stage for the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage, and will slip inside and make certain we have an unobstructed exit. Pray, allow me to join you. I have some experience of Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for the worse, I would hope to be one of at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, it would take several ships to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibune, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable on the water. assuming, of course, Rasho can be convinced to play a part with one. Might I take the lead on this one? I've had dealings with Rasho and his pirates before. And I won't be alone, will I, Elliot? You can count on me. Much appreciated. I quite fancy parleying with pirates again. It's just a shame Lise won't be there to reprise her role. I'm certain you make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to the negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, you giddy. They stood with us against the Empire. If we ask their aid once more, we must treat them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alfino, and I shall... By your leave, Master Alfino and I shall be about our task. Abby, good to see you. Glad to have you. I love that this is the first time I caught you live and you're wearing that costume. Slay. I aim to please. Just because I know it makes Bean happy. And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short and Rasho may take some convincing. Thank you, Bean. Yeah, the Wayward Daughter lyrical lore video if you're curious to watch it. Well, it will explain what the lyrics are and what the meaning of them is in the for the trial coming up. I think Yotsu's rejection of her redemption and kindness on the basis that she thinks she doesn't deserve it really shows she could have been so much more. Yep, I think you nailed it. I think that's the thing is like the tragedy around Yotsu is Yotsu did not need to be that way. Yotsu, it's not that different than Xenos, right? Which is that a lot of the people who are monsters did not need to be monsters. Like, they were forged, not born. Asai out there committing war crimes, yeah, absolutely, Demins, yeah. Yeah, I think Demins, that's a very perfect way of putting it. We are very pleased. Good, Abby. Yeah, Demins, it would have been interesting to see what she could have been if she did have a redemption. Well, hey, you know, maybe she's a sundered entity and we'll someday meet a part of, you know, reflection of her on another shard. But I don't think so. I don't think she was one of the sundered entities, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But at the very least, you know. At the very least, we know how souls can not only be reborn, but also how if they aren't reborn, they at least become part of the live stream and part of a new life. One of the best duty songs in the game, too. Yep, it definitely is one of them. 100% agree, Abby. Now there's a face I didn't expect to see. What brings the noble lord of Doma into the company of a bilge-rat such as we? If you're come off to offer Doma chains in place of Garlean ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. Ha ha ha! What a fine subject you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you and will not come running like hounds at the master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. What's the profit for us in all this? Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. Pay our tithes, you sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we're not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mistress Alizé. We did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk, and there is more to be said. According to records recovered from the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army, and as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? Shrewd, Hien, shrewd. You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hien. The losses we suffered at the Garlean's hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, undoubtedly so. They're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she has yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough to down below, but when you load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you'll do me the favor of swimming around the hull and check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman lords are not averse to getting their robes wet. Not this Doman lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. That is the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for the lad named Inahanashi. And I thought I had a knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, well, I thought the rumors exaggerated. The young lord lives up to his reputation. For a brief moment, sweet girl named Tsuyu lived, yes, and let us take some solace and some peace in that, and a reminder that no soul is lost forever. Hey, Avi, I love your stuff. Oh, sweet, I'm a lore geek too. I love Eorzean Archives content. Awesome. Well, I hope you continue to enjoy. Yeah, Ray was mentioning you just a little bit ago. If you ever want to work on something together, don't be a stranger. We love trying to sync up with people. Now, we may have social anxiety and or get really scattered-brained and or fail to actually meaningfully sync up, but we do love working with people. I swear, we do love actually like teaming up. Like I've teamed up with Chris from Work to Game sometime. Never got around to working with Scribe, but all sorts of wonderful people out there. I also would love to do more. I would love to go back and do more Eorzean's Archived, which was a podcast series we did a while ago that interviews some of the other content creators out there. I just never got around to actually making those happen. Social anxiety rocks. I feel you so much. Mood. Yeah, I just always feel bad when, like, my failure to follow through because of any number of reasons is perceived as a snub, mostly because it's more just a byproduct of scatterbrained and yeah, all sorts of stuff. I'm a shipwright, apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seemed solid enough. On the port side near the bow, you say? All right, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in the gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. The captain sent you to inspect the hull? Kami have mercy, forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. Ha, 'tis quite all right. In fact, I'd rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising, and I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fares Our Lady? Is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack in the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. see you have met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He babbles when he's nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave his life, if he so chooses. I expect you to see they are provided for. I have heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it, I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot, but he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there is a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, but in Yanxia or out in the Ruby Sea, we have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Then the matter is settled. I'll make the preparations to cast off. Yeah, thank you, Ray Ray. I was just about to ask if you could do that. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. You should definitely check out Avi's stuff. Ray Ray has been an evangelist of theirs for a while. I'm pretty sure Ray Ray did, like, when we were watching Links a while ago, you were recommending them. Thanks to Signal issues, apparently I'm 3 minutes behind or so. No worries, Tam. I often post links to Advocate. Yeah, I will make a note to check them out when I get home. You got your ship ready for your maid end voyage. Hey! AC, filling in for Dez. Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? It seems Ugiri and Alfino completed their task before us. They've been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined that the swiftest path to safety in the event of hostilities. We will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. Guys, do I go to the gas station after stream in this to get, like, food or, like, to get, like, a drink? Or am I just making a nuisance of myself? From there, the Confederacy has pledged to ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have but to attend the exchange and pray to the Kami these precautions were unnecessary. I'd also like to point out that I will be walking there in like a blizzard, basically. Is it not cold? Oh, it's cold! But. Oh, okay, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm coming to the tea tree now to grab people for the trial because we're basically gonna go straight into the trial. Yes. I love that you're like ready, Abby. You're just like, yes. Won't you be cold? Yes, but is it worth it? If it brings you guys hilarity and joy. If you're enjoying the stream and already a member of Discord, why not come join us at https://discord.gg/Eorzean archives. I'm getting better at that all the time. How much will you freeze? I won't freeze to death. And I've got gloves. Hey, someone over here playing Kaine Salvation. Okay, who wants to join me? Stand on me if you'd like to join me. Do you have leg warmers? I do have leg warmers on, thanks to a partner who bought them for me. I would rather you not die even if it was the name of lulls. Don't turn yourself into a TV dinner. Save it for summer. Leg warmers plus main outfit, isn't that a specific thing? Is it? I agree with Ray Ray. Okay. Don't do anything that will put your health at risk. I mean, it's only like a block or two. I mean, wear a coat. Don't get sick for views. Not again, at least. What server are you guys on? We are on Crystal Curl. Crystal Curl. Ah, yes, laughing at other people's misery is something we should definitely encourage. Well, no, in my mind, there's a very, very big difference between, one, I don't think people will be laughing because I was outside and cold. They'd be laughing because of the main thing. But secondly, I think there's a very, very big difference between someone suffering unwillingly and unintentionally and not laughing at them versus someone who like I don't mind being uncomfortable and cold for a little bit and consenting to that. Like, I think that's very different. At this point, is there any foreign art that the Warrior of Light can learn? We learned jobs from Baja, Thavner, Doma, Charlie, and even Garlewald. Also ancient arts from Nim and Alec. No, I mean, there's nothing really, especially because we have basic principles nailed down. There's no reason that we couldn't learn any of that. No, I'm sitting waiting for the bus now. Oh, sorry, Tim. Better not. I've been having coughing fits. Oof. You've been ill. Do not do it. On my way. Just so you know, we may have too many people at these, so just be forewarned if that's the case. Although we can potentially, or maybe we're good. Maybe we will. Yeah, okay, we got one slot for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, we got one slot for you. So we'll wait a second. I wouldn't do it. It's too cold for that kind of shenanigans. Yeah, the consent is the important part. Yeah. Save the shenanigans for FanFest. Oh god, I'm not even thinking about bringing this to FanFest. I do, however, though, I need to update my Eorzean for FanFest, but I also have 2 other characters that I'm getting ready and getting perfect for. No worries, Emmett. Hope you feel better, man. Oh, it's the music box version of Close in the Distance. Yep, I'm keeping a slot open for them, and they'll be here in a second. I'm gonna take that time to clean out my stuff. Sun will shine again. Walk on, never look back. You can sharpen a book? What? Hey, Cat, awesome you joined the FFXIV. I gotta put out some big videos to like get more people in this FCs because I know people like it when they're popping and popping. I wish there was an emote that lets you sharpen your weapons. Yeah, you just sharpen the edge of the paper. Thanks, Emmett. The Heavensward Relic quests are anything to go by? Yes. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Oh, speaking of, I've got a fun announcement for you guys. Give me one quick second. I can't type in these gloves. You sound so sure, V. Okay, don't worry. I won't go overboard. So, no, you're good, Avi. I mean, you think you can take this a good chance for this to explain. So, guys, V has been working on a project that will allow us to access the text, quest text, basically. Is that you? Yeah. Okay. Let me send a friend request. Invite to party. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go start picking up that quest now. V has been working on stuff that will allow us to access the text of the game with ease. So people will be able to like read, like if you need to like search a term from 14. So like there's wonderful tools like Gamerscape and Garland tools, right? That allow you to like look up a quest and look up its text and read them and all sorts of stuff like that, right? But if you wanted to, let's say, look at all the cutscenes in the game and Control F, you know, there's not anything like that. However, we are currently working on making it so that you guys will have access to that. So, for instance, let's say I want to just real quick, you know, let's say I wanted to just Control F a term like honey. Wow, there's no, okay. Here, I gotta make sure that all the, so like pick a random word that you want to see where if it showed up in a cutscene. Lady, the word lady, okay. lady. There are 111 uses in so far in just what's procced up. So like, Lady Giri, you know, and you could just like check that out. Or if let's say you wanted to do something like talk about the Echo, you know. So we're gonna be working on that. So we're gonna make that eventually available, but right now it's a work in progress. But just know that for anyone who would like to be able to have that for research purposes or anything, you can talk to us later. Because I know that's a tool that a lot of people who like lore have been like dying for. And I'll let V explain any of the like further context that it might be important. But also V is doing this, is working really hard to make this real, but like, you know, she's doing it out of the goodness of her heart and time, so it is volunteer, so please, you know, be very kind, be very supportive, and be very grateful. While we were putting our contingency plan in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for Imperial prisoners. He will say they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they await us on the riverbank, not far from the castrum. Let me turn off display capture, by the way. Sweet, better. Would that potentially include side character? It will, yes, it will ultimately, when we're done, we will have every piece of dialogue in the game. Yeah. Like talking to spoilers whenever they're around Shadowbringers, yeah. It will eventually be like, so that instead of like, you will have, there's no good way to do that currently. At least not publicly. Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday, Dreammaker, your heartbreaker, whenever you're going my way. I don't know where that came from. Ideally, the end UI is just Control F, but all the full text search is the thing. Just give Ellie the raw dump so he can use it for now. Yeah. That's a huge undertaking. Thanks, V. Yes. I will just say personally for me, thank you very much. Because the other big thing that does is, so like for me, whenever I'm working on a video now, because I have 6 scripts that I haven't want to put out. I haven't want to turn into videos because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. And now I can just check every instance of the game where that thing is mentioned for certainty. You know, all dialogue, and I would like to even scrape sites for interviews so you could get word of God, Yoshi P things that aren't even in game potentially. Oh my God, that would be so, so useful. Although the problem is some of those might be audio only interviews, so we might have to like have someone transcribe them. So potentially if we need someone to transcribe, we may be looking for volunteers on that to help with that project. Or even just volunteers for people to help search and like create a big mega doc of all the interviews with Yoshi P everywhere we can find. Just so like if you guys want to work together to start working on that, we'd love to help. Maybe Bean, I'll have you like coordinate that potentially. Most have transcriptions because translations to English. Yes, but there are some interviews with like Koji, for instance, V, that I know like Gamerscape has and other people have that are just all English, that don't have transcripts. So yeah, so the Yoshi P ones definitely would probably need it, you're right. But like some of them are also, don't have transcripts because they're not interviews, they're interviews where people are talking to him with, at like FanFest. So I know that there's some things like this. Like Echo versus Blessing of Light. Yes, Tam, I've had that video script done for forever, but I'm like terrified I'm missing something. So now that I have this, I'm gonna double check that, and then that video is coming out, baby. It's coming out. Anyone care to make a guess for a fun name of 7.0? It can be silly if you want. Yeah, that could be a fun. Yeah, what do you guys think 7.0 will be called? I mean, it's definitely gonna be Mericidia. It's gonna be Mericidia. Like, we're going to Mericidia. Your party is assembled then? Aye, and ready for what lies ahead. I trust, lest there be any confusion though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intention, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the castrum loading docks. She will see you to safely home. Then I will all stand ready to play the part. Come, let us be about it. A whole new world. Dragon flights. A realm reborn again. Dragon Dawn. New World, but copyright. I mean, yeah, we'd be going to New World, we'd be naming it New World.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration.
This
I
music is
meant
good
to
for
give them
tension.
to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion. Welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps
Ah, he's so
referring
good at
to
playing the
me,
game.
Lord Hydaelyn?
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish.
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire.
Her shattered mind mended, but her heart rebroken.
Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself.
Bitch is dead.
I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Oh boy.
A dormant citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
I hope we get more of Maxima in the future. Would depend on the kanji, but almost certainly, yes.
You must fall back!
Test.
You ask me to run?
Leave this to me.
Ah, against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. The field is yours.
Tsuki does mean blue. It can mean blue. Can.
We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
But the Tsu can also just
My
mean
lord.
blue. Like that, like that's what I mean. Like you'd have to see the kanji because it's not as simple as just being like, if I see Tsu, that must be the
I
blue.
knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful night of yours. But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Thor. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Okay, real quick, let's look up Yotsu. Let's see if they only use kana or if they have kanji for it. I really appreciate that they like don't make it clear that like you're gonna get it. Let's see, kanji. Oh, they do have. They looks like they do have kanji for a name, and it's Yoru and. Which kanji is that? Tears. So Knight's Tears, the dew of the night, or Knight's Tears would be, because like the yo is like Yoru, I think Yoru, like night, and then Tsuyu, it like would be like roll or so like Night Tears, Night dew, and then Tsuyu would just make. I don't know if Tsuyu. I don't know if they give her kanji for that, but I mean it's playing off of the Yotsuyu, the removal of night from her is and like what night represents for her, and it also, if you listen to like Wayward Daughter, what night represents in like the night of her soul, the like darkness of the corruption stuff, that removal of that is indicative of something. And then Tsukuyomi is the Tsuyu in that is moon. It's like Tsukuyomi is moon god, and Yomi, I don't know if it's like Yomi as in like your to read, like Tsukuyomi no Mikoto. Tsukuyomi. Or Tsuku or Tsuki. You see Tsukuyomi is also like you. So if you've ever like played like watched an anime or something, you might have heard of Tsukiyomi. There's also Tsukuyomi, and it's a lot of times can be either or. Yeah, that looks like Yomi. Yeah, it's so like moon reading, moon reader, moon gazer, moon, viewer, moon. There's a lot of different ways you could like probably to read. Is there moon predictor decipher. Yeah. Okay. Okay, why does Sugi sound like a time for possibly saddest song to find in the game? Yeah. I'm in love with Tyrant. Sorry, my beloved. Why does Sugiyumi sound like a chain smoker? Because she smokes a lot. Because she's smoking whenever possible. I mean, she consistently has a pipe in her hand. Yotsuyu sounds fine, but as a primal, she's got a voice of a chain smoker, Black Monk. Yeah, which is further like the indicative of like her corruption. Shades of Shiva. I wish all the art book minions were complied. And she sounds like a smoker for a bit if you line the reads. Yeah, I mean she does. I think Yotsuyu also sounds like I guess each their own. I think it's more even further noticeable for Tsukiyomi, but I think normally she does too. We've got Minfina at home. Minfina at home. Sai sets up the situation, blames Soma for it. I mean, that was his plan all along. I see the strength of Elio, is the maid just comfortable, or have you been suffering all stream? Oh no, it's very comfortable. I'm completely comfortable. My modesty isn't. But, no, I'm kidding. No, I'm perfectly fine. I might have misheard her lines there. Any idea where the idea of the bunnies on the moon came from? Far Eastern legend, because Tsukuyomi has bunny ears and she's a Noviera. It's the idea, do you mean in real life Japan or in 14? Because in 14, there is, E2 mentions it, and it's very similar to the real world, basically. It's like, the same, like, bunny pounding mochi and all that jazz. Probably for the same reason the real world, which is patterned on the visible side of the moon. Yeah. I thought Tsuyu was the type of dipping sauce, or am I mistaken? Tsuyu could be, but I mean, like, there's a lot of hanonyms in 14. So just because you see a word in Japanese that is the same as another word doesn't mean, like, it's this thing. For instance, bear and, or not bear, spider and cloud are both kumo. Or, kami, paper, and god, or a deity, are all the same. Kami. Paper, hair, and god are all kami. So, kami, kami, no kami, all three of those words mean different things. Yeah. Are we ready then? Ready, check. Let's hit it. Don't forget about the moon buddies. Yes, well, me and Niniri have speculated that it's possible that someone became aware of the buddies on the moon, thanks to labyrinths. Yet, AC, yet. Maybe we'll get some in the crafting quest. The tribal quest. Hey, Ruji, you need to not pull, please. You need to let the tanks do that.
Your end is near.
Biggest thing to know for this is when we get to the final thing, make sure you're swapping between light and dark side of the moon to get your when you're getting enough stacks. You don't want to get to 5 stacks. Oh my god, trying to play these gloves is a nightmare. Make sure to kill the clouds.
Beg for mercy. Your death will be all the sweeter.
And transition. Why does it fade away? Ah, I understand. It feeds on my spite, on my suffering. Come forth, shades of the dead! Curse my name! Strike my body and fill my soul with the malice I desire! Worthless excuse for a daughter, you're nothing but trouble. A bard of misery, that's what you are. Yes, my dearest parents, I was the bane of your existence on to the very end. Fight like your life depends on it, dear sister. You wouldn't want to disappoint me. It isn't cold-blooded little worm. Your pitiful fortunes can bring you no lower. You have come to deliver judgment for my failure. Cut me down then. Surely it is a simple task. Begone. Stay behind me, Suyu. Why? You have no place here. You must survive, Suyu. The kami spared us and we cannot repay the boon in death. Suyu must survive. Perhaps, but it is too late for me. There can be no redemption. A night bloom shall flower here upon the site of my demise. Make sure to not get too many stacks. You want to make sure to swap. Oh, I'm gonna get die. It's hard to play with these gloves. Do not stand on a tank while they have a tank buster. The fans are gonna attack in order. Old limit break.
Grind you under my heel.
Stay stacked. Stay stacked. Be sure to watch the fans.
I'll grind you under my heel.
Whoever just used limit break, Please do not do that. Guys, seriously. Like the one time I'm playing DPS, please do not take the limit break away from me. Well done, guys.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down. My! Such hostility! These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build. Oh, but I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point. It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Dorma. I would have repaid his faith. No one alive loves him more than I! Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi, always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength just for you.
And he's down. We'll talk about all this. There's a lot to this cutscene left. Just want to make sure we pay proper heed.
What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
Gosetsu will mourn you.
He will mourn too, perhaps. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Because he was weighed down by all his bullshit, Ray Ray.
Lord Xenos.
You fucking simp.
Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
I mean, spoiler, so I
You
can't
are
say it.
hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor.
This seems
Return
kind of
to your
ironic.
native land of Doma and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Dolmen resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not
There are
fail
some
you, my lord.
We have a lot that we'll talk about when the scene's over.
My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
Stay down, you filthy bitch.
You have prevailed, I see.
She is gone. Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hydaelyn!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Not exactly, kind of, AC. It's... I saw a vision of Asahi's past. It was Xenos.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hydaelyn's confusion.
The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an imposter has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Corps? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
I mean, to be fair, double tap wouldn't have done much good.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Maxima is a good person.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
This is your moment. I believe in you, Alphino.
'Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Manner maketh the man. How can I be so cool and stunning while also simultaneously so sexy and sweet? That was dumb. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff to talk with you guys. Okay. Where Lobrins stations? Yeah, you know it's, but they check regularly, Kat. The Lobrins check up on stuff regularly. You know it's both sad and poetic that the Spectre of Gosetsu is the one that defended her. She had no hatred of him in her heart subconsciously, yeah. Closest we get to killing a son, and believed that her and his love for her. Check out the lyrical lore video. Thank you, Bean. Imagine Bugs Bunny dressed up as Tsukiyomi. Yeah. There's only one moon goddess who has her respect. Unfortunately, she's not them. Glad to see they're using multi-stack markers now. Yes, good promotion. Will we ever get Tsukuyomi Fade's first Stormblood Ultimate? I think it's likely. My heart, Yotsuyu deserved better. She did. Or Tsuyu at the very least. She did, but Sai deserves worse. I'm not sure it can get much worse, but... everyone apparently thinks I'm menacing in the maid costume. Gotta love bad faith actors. Forgot that was a big thing. Asai is a terminal case of the simps. He really does. She's pretty with white hair. Yeah, and boom goes the dynamite. I like how the lighting still shows off half her face in the shadows here. Yeah. No one alive loves him more than I. Yeah. Sahi's, yeah. Sim. I like how she's basically Arya, yeah, with her revenge mission. So did Asahi's death give her peace? It gave her a form of peace. Or should I say, Song of Ice and Desires is more Pokaku in the show, yeah. Insatiable? No, invincible. Asahi was the most roundabout suicide method. Every other time someone falls, magic runs out and floats slowly down, only Asahi actually falls. In tears, simp. Elio actually fucking cringing. I assumed it was more because she released the magic and purposely dropped him because it ran out. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually the case. Oh no, I hate what's coming next. Poor Bosetsu. It's clear Xenos doesn't actually care about him at all. He's just useful. No, that's Xenos, yes. You can talk remarkably well for a sliced jugular. Well, I mean, he's been healing. I mean, has had medical help and has been healing. Sally just needs a fedora, yeah. So Tsukuyomi's cogent deity, yeah, makes me wonder if there is a comment about Amaterasu. I'll go the comment on it in E2 Summit. Xenos will come first. He's not wrong about Xenos. Isn't Izanami the goddess of ethnic parties? Not really. Izanami and Izanagi were like part of the creation of Japan, but also like she eventually dies and then there's like in the underworld is corrupted, but she's not like, it's not really like, it's more nuanced than that, but kinda. For once, Alfie has an accurate assessment of this. Oh no, sorry, I take that back. I was telling you, okay. You're welcome. No one clipped it because y'all forget to clip things. I know because no one ever posts the clips. Other than like Ray Ray every now and then. Oh my god. Where is the bit about Tsukuyomi? There we go. Ginatsu, Glubin, her burdens. There we go. Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi, divinity of night and moon, was a primal summoned by Tsukugoi Brutus, acting viceroy of Doma. Although the deity spoken in mythology is not attributed to a gender, Tsukuyomi is often represented in the works of art and literature as a male figure. By channeling the power of the sacred mirror and offering herself as a vessel, however, Yotsuyu called forth the entity in a female form. Legend states that Tsukuyomi was born from the mirrored surface of the Maso Kakagami, an artifact belonging to the first gods, and there given dominance over the night and moon. The divinity was also charged with leading the souls of men to the underworld, a role performed in gentle quietude. Scholars muse that Tsukuyomi's calm nature was necessary to balance the tempestuous character of Amaterasu and Susanoo, who likewise came into being in the Age of Creation. With the vengeful Yotsuyu serving as a host, however, Tsukuyomi's primal incarnation was steeped in a simmering malice and could hardly be recognized as the tranquil deity of myth. And if we pull up Susanoo real quick, I think there's another reference to Amaterasu in there. One of the myriad kami and mighty lord of the revel arose from the desperation of the Kojin and the three sacred treasures. No, okay. Origin myth. Of the plethora of kami that fill the pantheon of the Far East, few are revered as much as Susanoo, Lord of the Revel. In the wake of the world's creation, it was following the birth of Amaterasu, god of day and the sun, and Tsukuyomi, deity of night and the moon, that Susanoo did come into existence as the deity of the sea. Susanoo also graces the pages of myth in his incarnation as a wandering hero, and in the age of the gods, when untold villains walked the land, he went forth to battle myriad monstrosities. During a grand and daring adventure, amongst the many treasures he won on his journey, he became in possession of three sacred relics of unsurpassed potency: the mirror Yata no Kagami, the talisman Yasakari no Magatama, and the katana Ame no Murakume. It's hard to tell. It's like cursively written. For unaccounted years have the sea-dwelling Kojin offered prayers to the Lord of the Revel and aspired to obtain the relics there. Though a series of coincidences and the intervention of the Warrior of Light was the wish granted and fateful confluence of events which resulted in the unexpected summoning of the primal Susanna. See you staring at my ass. I think a lot of Mythos can be summed up as it's complicated. Yeah. I can see Deadpool now looking at Elio from across the room with a head cocked inside, wondering what is wrong with him. I gotta head out here. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. You too, Deathberry. Yeah, it's not like the video hangs around once it's finished. Fair. Jellybean is like to share under the video desktop, but it might not show up depending on the window size. Maybe. Oh god, no, they got clips working. This is the time that you learn to clip things? Great. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning? Thank the kami you were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. 'Tis little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune, before the battle begun in earnest, but the vessel yet waits on the riverbanks for those who did not flee in time. Then I suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion. Yeah, I hope that was what you were curious about, Alara.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass. Far Eastern Roganin are usually look like Hellsguard, or they look like here. Yeah, pretty much AC.
There you are.
Gosetsu, your hair. My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
all of them.
Safe travels, Gosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before.
Night, Tracy.
And with that, I take my leave.
Man, patch 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 have been going by quick. I don't know if it's just because we've been less distracted and talking less on the side. I guess you guys just been watching along. Look to those who walk before to lead those who walk after. Walk free, Gosetsu. Indeed, AC. Oh, and I don't think it's the last you'll see of them. I'm almost certain of it. Gosetsu, fair journey to you, my friend. Bittersweet occasion, but there's yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray, join us in Kiankan. I would thank you properly. Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you, I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there is little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu, by building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess I miss him already, but the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and in Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship and strove beyond the limits of endurance, without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the Kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yotsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother? Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the Kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived amongst us. And that she brought with her a whisper of a respite for a grieving heart. We're all ephemeral. All we can do is try to appreciate what was and what is. That's the finale for, yeah. I think it's time we're going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let us call it Ralger's Reach, where we should be the ones to tell Lise all about Xenos. After all, we went through together, we owe her that. Why does he wax poetical so well? Part of his Doman upbringing? Yeah. I think he's just a very wise soul, and at the same time, has had to experience a lot, and partly also, yeah, I would say it's very related to the idea of the poet warrior, like the idea of the samurai in general as poet warrior, like, or artisan warrior. Would you guys, seeing as, you know, this went by quick, usually we go for another hour, would you guys like me to read Gosetsu's short story that takes place between 4.3 and 6.0? I could do a reading of that. Story time at the tea tree? Sure. Elio, Alice, you're back. No Alfie now. It's good to see you too, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. That's what she thinks. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Gods, that had better be a joke. Okay, thank you for your enthusiasm. It definitely makes it a lot more, like, makes me want, like, a lot more exciting to do. Look, I knew what I saw, all right? We all saw it. And then you are saying he's alive and well and living the high life back in Garlemald. I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. But while I might doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Elio. He saw the Crown Prince through the Echo in a meeting that could only have taken place in the recent past. It was him. It was Xenos. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter? Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Thal's Gilded Halls, whatever are you talking about? Thal's Gilded Hall, that's a new one. Thancred, what brings you to the Reach? Alfino had me lending a hand at the Sultry, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on, just until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my weary way back to the headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion that the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, I suggest we quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business. As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But if it'll put the rumors to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried in Bloodhow and the Locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked, so as not to upset the locals. Then it should be too hard to find, Nago. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Hey guys. Hey Ray, is it 4.4 or 4.5 that our dramatic friend gets introduced? Because it's the ending of 4.4 or 4.5, I know for sure. Ray just recently replayed these all, so I know that she'll know. Oh, well, we never finished talking. I never came up with an idea for 7.0. So Mericidia, right? Okay. Shattered, well, so, okay, I don't want to do too much spoilers, but, you know, we've had stuff about the 13th lately, so Shattered Worlds, because, you know, like, Mericidia, you know, is a shattered world, and the 13th is, like, a broken world. So, you know, Final Fantasy 14, Shattered Realms, Shattered Worlds, Shattered Realms. Realms already been used. Shattered Skies. Final Fantasy 14 Worlds Apart. I don't know if that's evocative enough. Think about it. Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, Heaven's Word, Realm Reborn, Bum Bum Bum, Shattered World. Something like that. Sky Shatter, because it's got to be one word if previous expansions are to go by. Yeah. Sky Shattered, World Shattered. Oh, yeah, so when does our theatrical friend appear? Is it end at 4.4 or 4.5? World Menders? I don't know. I don't think it's, because we're not, I don't know that it's about world mending just in and of itself. You know? I think it's more about broken worlds and we're trying to recover. But I mean, like, so mending I think is good, but like, I don't know that it's... This is it. Gods, he better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. So no one thought to check that the coffin was still occupied. Well then, we are presented with but one course of action. We had best be sure we are not observed in doing it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
But I don't think we're trying to break the void.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
Oh good, it's just an Ellison. It's not like Xenos or anything. If there's no corpse, then... If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend the credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphino's theory of Ascian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Ascian is walking around in Xenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly buried. If he wasn't, then it was some trick. He's as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Raban needs to hear about this. If you find anything, send word to me at Ralgris Reach. I do not know why I'm so surprised. With matters settling down in Domo, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Eorzean over Link Pearl and gave him a full report of Y'shtola is on her way, and should be here any... Ah! Alice, Elio, 'tis good to see you are safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that the Ascians now inhabit Xenos' body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince subordinates, but Elio? Nay, Alfino had the right of it. Would that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety. Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. Nope. I would have thought for sure that would have been spoken. We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of the star. No. It's not 4.3. It's at minimum 4.4, Tam. Also, it's voice acted, so. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. Ah, okay, Tim. Well, but that isn't that 4.55? 4.5 and 4.55 are different patches. What are you? Have you lost your mind? Ah! I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the final was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins, embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. Man, having played Endwalker, that smirk has now far even more meaning. Okay. Coming to you guys back for... Actually, wait, first. Aenor. Is Aenor here? I know I need to give Isildur my undivided attention, but the waves of brotherly love making my mind drift to naughty places. Focus, Aenor. Focus. Oh, Aenor Cockburn. Okay, who's ready for story time? Didn't you guys say there was a bonfire? Well, either way. Are you guys doing a fighting ring with Carbies? Oh my god. Oh my god, Carbuncle fight. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well. Okay, give me one quick second. You guys get up a campfire setup going while I finish attend to something real quick. Okay. Oop, whoops. Give me 1 second. Let that... Here, let me... /icam... And... I'm gonna take these gloves off because they make it very hard to... open up pages. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Tales from the Storm, Tales from the Calm. A mom in her shoes, a display of ingenuity. Okay. 209. The Samurai Who Could Not Die. By your leave. Gosetsu lowered himself down somewhat gingerly next to a weathered skull, crossing his aching legs as he glanced about the surrounding field. Since shaving his head and setting off on a pilgrimage to honor the fallen, the former samurai winding road had led him to a border of Ilsamar. It was here, some 2 decades past, that a battle had raged between the forces of the Empire and the peoples of the subjugated province. The remains of the vanquished still lay unburied, discolored bones protruding from the undulating sea of wild grass. I know not who you were, friend, nor yet for whom you fought, but I do know you were a warrior. The Rogadin paused politely, as if affording the skull time to respond. When it did not, he continued. Here you lie, mouldering away, none to mourn your passing, while this old man clings shamelessly to life. And yet, in my defense, none could say that I have not afforded the kami ample opportunity to claim this tired soul. It had been 25 years since his first appointment with death. Gosetsu had fought like a demon against the invading empire, but even a man of his indomitable will could not prevail against the might of Garlemald. Defeated, both he and his lord Kayan were taken prisoner, their beloved Doma falling at last to imperial rule. Disgraced and dishonored by the capture and the breaking of his spirit. The breaking of his spirit was completed by the news of his family's fate. His wife and daughter had perished during the imperial bombardment of Monzen. In dedicating every waking moment to his liege, Gosetsu had all but left his spouse to run their household alone, and on no few occasions had he come home to find his 5-year-old asleep in the doorway, where she had waited to welcome her father's return. He had often considered begging leave from his duties that he might spend time with his loved ones, but now even the humble wish could never be granted. Robbed of his will to live, Gosetsu thought only of being reunited in death. His life, however, was not his own to take. Unable to beg Kayan's consent, the samurai was forced to endure the agony of his imprisonment. 6 moons waxed and waned before one day, without warning, the guards strode into his cell and dragged him from his meager bedding. Wordlessly, they led him to a nearby chamber, wherein waited Doma's former ruler. It seemed their captors had at last permitted Kayan the visitor. But rather than ask for his beloved wife, he had requested to speak with his most loyal retainer. Even as the door closed behind him, Gosetsu fell to his knees and begged for the right to commit seppuku. But Kayan simply closed his eyes and shook his head. "Why?" Gosetsu rasped, his voice hoarse from disuse. "Why do you deny me this small mercy?" Kayan was not only his master, but his oldest and dearest friend. Rarely did the samurai question his lord's decision, but in the face of this unfeeling refusal, he could not conceal his dismay. Our nation has fallen. Our nation has fallen. My family is dead. I failed to protect all that is dear to me. Honor demands that I turn my blade. Our nation is fallen. My family is dead. I failed to protect all that is dear to me. Honor demands that I turn my blade at... I need you alive, came the reply, silencing Gosetsu at a stroke. I trust no other to watch over my son. None. This was the first Gosetsu had heard of an heir. In the pandemonium that followed the Empire's invasion, Kayan explained he had told no one that his wife, Mina, was with child. A boy, if the predictions of the Onmyoji were to be believed. The revelation left Gosetsu agog. He will come into a world of strife and subjugation. If I do not stand at his side, then who will? Tears welling in his eyes, the samurai withdrew his earlier request and swore to his liege a new oath. He would not fail. Not this time. So it was that my first death was denied, Gosetsu explained to his mute audience. His son, Shun, was born soon after, and I was conscripted to fight the Empire's battle for them. To draw a blade in the service of another, of our hated enemy no less, was a humiliation worse than dying. But such was the price of remaining true to my oath. I turned my heart to stone, and carved a bloody trail with my steel. Full many fell before me, some on this very battlefield. Gosetsu regarded the skull sympathetically. Were you one of them? I understand if your spirit chose to haunt me. Such terrible deeds I performed in the name of honor. Hollow eye sockets stared back at him, but no vengeful spirit stirred within their depths. The old Roganin plunged onward with his recollection. Which brings me to the recent uprising, and what should have been my second death. It was the 24th winter of the Imperial occupation. Lord Kayan had been permitted to retake his place as Doma's leader, a puppet made to dance to Garlemald's tune. His wife, Mina, meanwhile, had passed away, the long years of anguish taking their toll. As for the young Shun, he had grown into an exceptional warrior, taking the name Hien, following his coming-of-age ceremony. And the Gosetsu himself had returned to serve House Riji, playing up old wounds as a means to escape further service on the front lines. Though each gave the impression of a man resigned to his fate, the truth could not have been more different. In secret, the trio had spent countless nights plotting Doma's liberation, going so far as to establish a base of resistance in the House of the Fierce. And yet, after almost a quarter of a century of imperial rule, the time to rise up seemed no closer. But then word arrived that the Emperor had succumbed to old age, and that a war of succession was brewing in Garlemald. The Kami themselves could not have presented a better opportunity. Waiting patiently until the local garrison had been dispatched to join the conflict back in the motherland. Gosetsu led a rebel force to lay siege to Doma Castle, and after a brief battle, both it and the Viceroy lay in Doman hands. Yet as swiftly as their victory had come, still more swiftly came the Empire's retribution. The internecine struggle within the capital was resolved sooner than any thought possible, and reinforcements dispatched to Doma forthwith. Arriving at the head of the 12th Legion, the newly anointed Emperor's own son, the Crown Prince Xenos, fell upon the rebels like a tidal wave. Overwhelmed, Gosetsu abandoned the castle to the flood of the Imperial troops, seeking at least to uphold his word by ensuring Hyen's survival. They had scarcely reached safety when they learned of Lord Kyan's fate. While attempting to coordinate the evacuation of his people, Doma's ruler was confronted by Xenos and slain in single combat.
I will avenge him,
Gosetsu vowed then.
even should of my own life be the price of vengeance.
Gripping the hilt of his katana, the grief-maddened samurai prepared to charge into the enclave where the 12th had set up camp, only for Hyen to bar his path. I share your grief at father's passing, the young man said, his expression stern. But we must pull back and await our next chance at freedom. I am your lord now, he continued, not unkindly, and I order you to withdraw. For a moment, Gosetsu's body went rigid, but then he allowed his hand to fall away from his weapon. His liege and closest friend was dead. Caring not who might be watching, he fell to his knees and wept.
And thus was the underworld denied my eternal soul once more. I ask you, what manner of samurai lives to tell the tale of his lord's demise?
A rueful grin spread across Gosetsu's broad features.
One would be forgiven for questioning my loyalties.
Shaking his head, he let out a deep sigh.
Where was I? Ah, yes. Following our defeat, we were compelled to remain ever on the move, striking at our enemies whenever the opportunity arose. But while evading some particularly persistent pursuers, we became separated. I searched, of course. Oh, how I searched. But my liege was nowhere to be found. And so I left for Eorzean to enlist the aid of Yugiri Mistwalker. To cut a long story short, Gosetsu went on, cheerfully, we were eventually reunited with our young lord, at whose sides we marched upon Doma's castle once more, and 'twas there I came to stare into the eyes of death for the third time. Our foe, you see, foreseeing our victory, had made arrangements to bring the keep down on our heads. Yet even as the masonry crumbled around me, I was content to perish in the knowledge that Lord Hyen was safe and Doma free. 'Twould have been a good end, mayhap the best, but once again the kami proved reluctant to grant me my final rest.
Gosetsu had awoken to find himself drifting down the one river. Atop a stout wooden door whose twisted hinges had chanced to snag upon his sleeve. Nor was he alone. By some miracle, Yotsuyu too had been spared. Yet despite his hatred for the viceroy, he could not strike at her as she lay there senseless. Instead, he spent his strength on keeping their precarious raft from tipping as the current carried them out into the open sea. They washed up on the beach of a small island, where Yotsuyu at last regained consciousness. She seemed confused by the situation, unable to even recall her own name. Gosetsu naturally suspected trickery, but when he advanced upon her, blade drawn, she dissolved into fits of frightened weeping. In that moment, he saw not the viceroy, but the face of his lost little girl, cheeks streaked with tears after a scolding. The point of his katana dropped into the sand. He could no more cut her down than he could his own daughter. So began their time as castaways. What would have been torture for some, surviving on rainwater and the few fish that could be caught, seemed to Gosetsu a tranquil dream after a lifetime of conflict. Yotsuyu spoke to him as an honored grandfather, and seeking his approval with an innocence that touched his heart. And as an affection blossomed unbidden, he in turn began to think of her as a grandchild. The spiteful woman he had once cursed as his foe gradually ceased to be.
Ayame?
Ayame? Is that who I am? One morning, still drowsy from sleep, Gosetsu had mistaken the wide-eyed Yotsuyu for his long-dead daughter. Stricken with guilt, he had then resolved to make a conscious effort to call her Tsuyu. Yet the similarity could not be denied.
Had Ayame lived, she would have been of a similar age.
And just like that, Gosetsu caught himself contemplating a life on the little island, and simply forgetting all that had gone before. But he was beholden to his duty. His lord must know that he and Yotsuyu had survived, and so as soon as his wounds permitted, Gosetsu chopped down their sanctuary's solitary tree, fashioned a crude raft, and began paddling towards the nearest shore.
My reunion with Lord Hyen was joyous enough, but I must confess, my heart was filled with trepidation,
the old Rogadin said softly.
I fear the judgment he would pronounce on Tsuyu, but my liege is a merciful man, and he granted her leave to live among us as Doman citizens, until such time as her memories returned. In my elation, I convinced myself that everything had come to pass, everything that had come to pass, our miraculous survival, my inability to wield a blade, was a sign from the kami that I was destined to spend the rest of my days at Tsuyu's side. Fond fool. That I, of all men, should presume to understand the will of the divine.
Gosetsu stared into the distance, eyes clouded with anguish.
Sure enough, Yotsuyu's true self returned, her crimes inviting an inevitable death. Tsuyu was gone, and I was left to mourn once more.
His story told, he bowed his head and lapsed into silence. The skull, however, seemed unmoved. Marking its impassive expression, Gosetsu laughed quietly.
Mine apologies. I did not come here to bore you with an old man's tale. I came to see that you and your comrades are given the proper rights.
So saying, he heaved himself to his feet and began the laborious process of burying each and every bone that littered the field. The task complete, he constructed a simple cairn of stones and read aloud a passage of prayer. Just in case, I see that OBS paused for a second, so I'm going to reread the last bit. So saying, he heaved himself to his feet and began the laborious process of burying each and every bone that littered the field. That task complete, he constructed a simple cairn of stones and read aloud a passage of prayer in reverent tones. And then, he collapsed. Gosetsu awoke to find himself sitting at the prow of a small ferry, enveloped in a nimbus of warm light. The craft bobbed in the waters of a broad river, and upon the far bank he could make out a small gathering of people beckoning him to cross. Squinting at their faces, he made out his wife and daughter, and his dear friend Kayan. Even Tsuyu was there, smiling again. Gosetsu smiled back.
At long last, death has come to embrace me. I shall be with you soon,
he called out, snatching up the oar lying across the vessel's bench and starting to paddle in earnest. Yet however furiously he churned the water, the ferry would not move forward. He looked up to see the distant bank drawing ever further away. Desperate now, Gosetsu flung aside the oar and dove into the river. The next thing he knew, he felt solid ground beneath his back. A peddler, judging by his attire, was leaning over him and peering worriedly into his eyes. "Had yourself a bit of a turn, did you?" the man asked kindly, enunciating each syllable for ease of comprehension. "I have some spare food and water if you think you can stomach it."
A turn?
Gosetsu replied groggily.
Where is Ayame? Tsuyu?
His thoughts swirled in confusion, until a rumbling growl from his belly reminded him where he was and what he had been doing. For 3 days and 3 nights he had toiled in the field without so much as a sip of water or a grain of rice passing his lips. Unsure of whether to feel embarrassed or saddened by his predicament, Gosetsu resolved instead to see the mirth in it.
I thought for certain my time had come, but would seem the kami are not done with me yet, he chuckled. So be it! If I am to remain in this world, then I shall greet every precious moment as a dear friend. What more can a man do but smile?
With a customary ear-splitting laugh, Gosetsu took the proffered bread from the startled merchant's hands and wolfed it down in 3 hurried bites. He would need his strength if he was to continue his pilgrimage. And then we get... Here, I'll change OBS real quick. Can you guys still hear me and everything? Just checking that everything's still good. That's the story. And it's beautiful things like that, where there's nothing in there that's pivotal to understand, but small moments of people's lives. That's what the short stories are great for. Huge recommend. Yeah, and I'm going to continue working on doing more and more short stories and creating those like little picture videos that we're going to put out. My hope is to do every single short story that's ever been done, and readings of them. I'm imagining Gosetsu talking to the skull like Thor at the start of Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. Still good. You can still hear it's just a brief glitch. Sounds good. Cool. So yeah, that's that. Oh, and good. That actually took a little bit, so we definitely went a little bit longer. Honestly, we have more short stories that I'd love to do readings of sometimes as well, just because it's so fun to like read these, and there's so much interesting and lovely context. The other thing that they're good for is we sometimes we'll read them during book club. Speaking of, if you have not joined on Fridays, we have book club over on the Discord. We haven't had it the past couple weeks because I've been out and then also been doing things on Friday. But that said, don't forget that tomorrow, Wednesday through Friday, we will be finishing off Nier. So for those of you who have been watching Nier, that is what we will be doing. We will be getting to ending E. Oop. So I would recommend doing that. For time, I'll probably be doing it a little bit earlier than the stream and going potentially a little bit long because I want to make sure that we get to ending E and we have probably at least about 20 hours left. Maybe less, though. Just got off work where I'm tired, shoulder hurts from pulling a few days ago. And first thing I see is a close-up of Maid Elio, and then I'm RL Maid Elio. Well, hey, Des, good to see you, glad to have you. And yes, welcome to the Maid stream. So, before we head out, does anyone have any things that they'd like me to do in this lovely, lovely maid outfit? And also, does anybody want to pay money to get me to say weird shit? Because it makes Deadpool happy. You guys haven't seen Deadpool all stream. Let's get Deadpool. Deadpool, come on, bud. Hi. Oh, oof, oh. I forgot that I don't have mic sound set up for that for the preset. But if you guys have a final thing you want me to do, now's the time. It's not muted, it's just that I don't have sound set up for when I switch over to that like main screen thing, like where you can see me very, very bigly. Stop staring down my shirt. Eyes up here. Okay, any last things? Okay, you're gonna lose sound for a second, be forewarned. Have you guys gotten your money's worth now? Am I free? Am I free? Yeah, I wanted to do more dancing, but Deadpool keeps like trying to like play with me whenever I try to start dancing. No, like he keeps trying to wanting to be held and being played. Yeah, no, anyone's welcome to friend me in the game. That's just if you plan to hang out and spend time with you guys. Okay, yeah, usual things. Don't forget, there's the Discord. Go check out our Discord if you haven't already. You can support us over on Patreon and give us super chats here, as well as join memberships, get access to all sorts of fun emotes. On top of that, if you would like to, we put out new content every Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to be an episode of End Talkers between me and Aniri that we recorded. So that'll give me time to do some other projects that I'm working on. And yeah, we should be getting back into a more normal cadence for the week. If you don't know what our schedules are, you can go see those over on the Discord as well. My hope is I might be backing off on doing weekly videos and to do bigger and better videos, because I haven't had time necessarily to do as many shorter ones. I'm just not always happy with the quality, but we'll see. I don't know. But also thanks to the fact that I have help from our new mod Bean, I also may now have more free time to do better, even more stuff as well. But we'll see. On top of that, if on Mondays and Thursdays we have V running map events after stream. On Thursdays we have Bean will be running looks like front lines and other stuff right now. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that. On top of that, you can just take advantage of the Discord in general by using the looking for group and all sorts of stuff. So please come join and be a part of our community. We'd love to have you. Beyond that, though, if you are specifically interested in getting into Savage raiding, make sure to come check out we have a specific Discord set aside for that as well, but that is invite only. Well, anyways, have a lovely evening, everyone. If you want to see this outfit again, you're gonna have to pay for it next time. So, well, maybe I'll bring it to FanFest, and if one of you can beat me in Triple Triad, I'll wear it for you or something. But with that said, I've been Elio Forceron, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. And just for you, ooh woo. Now let me do it. Ooh woo. Oh whoa. Have a good day, master. Oh god. Oh, I'm gonna go take a shower now. Ugh.